I follow a guy over on Twitter called Dividend Seeker, and this morning he did a tweet in which he said these are Kevin O'Leary's best dividend stocks, and he listed 10 stocks. And I said, well, I want to compare them to my dividend stocks. So I have this program on Excel where I evaluate dividend stocks, and so I wanted to share it with you, and I want to explain to you how you can use technology, and it's a technology that provided by Microsoft on Excel spreadsheets, where they will actually fill the cells with the pertinent information like market cap, PE ratio, current price, and then update them as the market changes. I'll show you that in just a second, because I think it's important in your portfolio. You have some dividend stocks that are going to be paying you on a regular basis, but you've got to know, is the dividend going to be paid, but the price go down? And so it's important to do some deep analysis, and that's what we're going to do today.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
When you invest in dividend stocks, it's not just the dividend you want to consider. I mean, the best dividend may not be the best stock. How does the stock price perform accordingly? And then, does the stock have a history that the dividend is increasing? And how does it fare in different times? And this information is available to you if you know where to go to find it. This is the fundamentals. What is the basic fundamentals of the stock? What is the price relative to the PE ratio? What's the dividend? Is it growing? How safe is the dividend? These are all things that need to be considered, but they're require a little bit of digging. Well, Microsoft has made that easier, and I want to show you how they've done that, and then I want to show you where I'm going to be doing this on a regular basis and making it available to you. So let's go to the computer and the Excel spreadsheet and give you a first-hand look on how I evaluate dividend stocks. Okay, this is my dividend portfolio analysis. I don't own all these stocks. I own the ones that are in bright yellow. As I said, what prompted me on this was that Dividend Seeker, who I follow on Twitter, gave me a list of stocks of dividend stocks owned by Kevin O'Leary. Those are the ones that are in the light yellow there, starting with Johnson & Johnson, Home Depot, McDonald's, and you can see them. Then what I did was say, okay, I want to get some analysis to put these stocks side by side. The rest of them are basically stocks that I have read are the highest dividend-paying stocks in the S&P 500. So the first thing I did was sort them and come up with the highest-paying stock. And the highest-paying stock is Verando Realty Trust, that pays a 10.59% dividends, followed by Hanes Brands. That's the underwear people. They pay a 10.57. Actually, that's, yeah. So then what I said was, okay, if I were a novice at that, I'd certainly want to own those too. So then what I said was, okay, let's look at their 5-year growth rate and how their dividend is growing over the past years. And I picked the 5 years because we've been through some difficult times, and it's going to tell me how the company is faring through these times. Well, you see, Valero's dividend dropped by almost 4%. And the Hanes has basically stayed flat. But then I found this. Both of these I found on Seeking Alpha. Hanes Dividend Safety, they give it an F. They give Valero a C-. And then what I'm using is a Excel spreadsheet, Microsoft. You'll notice that it gives detail here. Actually, by using this, Microsoft will fill some of these categories that I ask for, such as stock price, what their industry is. They also give me their PE ratio, the market cap. Then the next thing I did was say, okay, well, on December the 1st, I invested $2,388 into every one of these stocks, and how has it fared then since December the 1st? And here's what you see here, not surprisingly, and you just notice that the price has changed, because this is actually a live chart. That is to say that it's feeding me the price changes as the market moves. So anyway, I was saying, if I had bought Verando Realty on 12/1, I would have lost 20% of my investment between there and now. Haynes, I would have lost 18.4, and Devon Energy, I would have lost, and I did lose, 16.9. So I'm saying this is giving me some information that I didn't have. So what I also want to show you in here is, as I say, I'm sorting this based on their dividend payout, and you can see some of Kevin O'Leary's, obviously he's not buying them for the dividend payout because they're very small. Microsoft's down here, Apple's down here. And this yellow says I also own those. And again, I don't own Microsoft or Apple for the dividend. I own it for its potential growth. So that's how that works. Then I want to show you how you can sort this. So let's say, okay, what I really want is dividend growth. So I want those stocks that are going to give me the best dividend growth, or historically does. So what I do is I drag my cursor over my full chart and I let it go there. Then I come up here and I click data, and then I go to sort. And then what I want to sort, it shows me all my headers. Well, what I want is that 5-year, okay, growth rate. So I'm going to click on growth rate, and then he said, they're asking me, do I want the largest to the smallest? Yes, I do. So I click on that, and that gives me that. So now I look at this dividend stock, and I say, here's one. This is Citigroup, or Cigna. This is the insurance. It tells me it's healthcare. See, right there it tells me. And it says its dividend has grown by 157%, and it's got a very safe dividend. But look at what that means. It doubled its dividend. It probably means that its dividend was 0.75, and it grew to 1.75. So yeah, it grew, but it didn't really grow from all that much. And there's that Devon Energy again. It grew by 60%, meaning it was probably somewhere around 5, and grew to 9. And its safety is an A, and it's oil and gas. But I've lost 17% of my money over the last since December. So is that good, bad, or indifferent? I got to make a mistake. Its PE ratio is only 6.1. So you see where we're going. But then look here at Broadcom. Pays me about a 3% dividend. That has grown by 28.5%. Its safety rating is A+. It's a semiconductor stock, and I'm up 17.52% since December. That's a keeper. That, I would say, is a keeper. So can you see how this really gives me a insight as to how these things are performing? Again, let's say that what I want is good stocks that are going to give me a good growth rate. Well, then I look at these and say I want a double-digit growth rate. Who does that bring in? Well, here's down at the bottom. That's Microsoft. It's only got a 1.6, but it's growing at 10%. okay, I own Microsoft. I like Microsoft for a lot of other reasons, but I'm going to continue to own it. Then this one struck me. Home Depot at 2.5%. It's growing at 16.5. But the ratings, and I got this from Seeking Alpha, is a D. Why is that? I suspect that's because the housing market does not have a good outlook right now, and maybe that extends also into the home repairs market. And so they're giving it a potential safety of its current dividend of 2.55 at a D. Okay? And so you can see here, we've got some tremendous information. Here's another one that I own. You see that the price has just changed again. Clorox, I get a 3.7. It's growing the dividend is growing at 7% over the last 5 years. Very safe. I also own Alta cigarette company, 7.99% dividend, got a growth rate, and safety is a C+. Again, that's probably because, it's an offensive stock. It's cigarettes. So can you see the value here in that if you know how to do this and dig into it, you can get some fantastic information. Just for kicks, let's see, of these dividend stocks, let's do another sort and go in here and say, okay, which one has given me the best return on investment since December the 12th? So I go to my, what it's picking up is so it's right after, there it is, return on investment, and I'm going to leave largest to smallest, and okay, there's Broadcom. Happy to say I own it. Got a little bit of a high PE ratio. Here's FedEx, grown since December at 16%. Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, Novell Industries. This is Home Goods, Apple. So you can see, and there's my Clorox, 3%, and I've gotten already another 3% growth since the 1st of December. So this is where I'm going. I'm expanding my knowledge. I've learned this program. I want to make this available to you, and I want to make it available to you where it's convenient. So what I'm going to do is build out my website and park these things on the website, and I'm going to make it available to my Discord participants. So let's talk a little bit further in that. If this is what interests you, and if this is the kind of thing you'd like me to provide for you, I want to provide it, and I want to make it available. I've stated from the beginning of this YouTube channel that my number one purpose was to make you a better investor. And as I learn, I want to share my knowledge with you. As I said, I'm a retired financial advisor, but actually I think I've learned more in the past 3 years with this YouTube channel about investing in fundamental analysis and technical analysis. And we've got Mark Willis on the Discord who's teaching swing trading, which is all based on technical analysis. And so I want to make this available to you and make it convenient. And sometimes the Discord is a little intimidating. So we're building out our website, and we're going to put this analysis on that website. I did one recently on finding the next NVIDIA. I did one on finding the genome editing stocks that are going to succeed, and now I've done this one on dividend stocks. And I want them to be available, and then I want to teach you how to build your own, to use the Excel spreadsheet, the Microsoft program, so that updates the prices, updates the PE, updates the market cap, and hopefully they'll add even more features, as I'm sure they will in the future, so that you can do your fundamental analysis and understand it. And then I want to get you more familiar, and Trent's doing some specific work on Seeking Alpha and getting into the depths of that, and then then we're going to do some feature videos on how to use trading views charts, because as I said, I want to make you a better investor. So here's how our Discord works. We have 4 levels. The first one is basically you just get access and you come in and you chat, and that's $4. The $10 is going to give you access to my portfolio and my trade alerts, and then is eventually going to give you also some access into these charts and things and these fundamental things that I'm building as well. And as I said, then what we want to do is make it available on the website. I also want to then start teaching courses and make how I do things, how Trent does things, how Mark does things, and how Drew does things, so that you become, as I said, a better investor. That's my goal for you. That's my challenge for 2023. I think with the adaptation of artificial intelligence, genome sequencing, genome editing, this is going to, before the year is over, is going to be a banner year in the stock market. That's my prediction, and I know that's contrary to what everybody says, because interest rates are high and inflation is high, and you aren't going to stop these trains. This is bigger than the digital revolution. Just think about that. In 1989, in 1989, someone told me, do you know what the World Wide Web is? Well, I was in the drugstore yesterday waiting to get my statins, and I was talking to a young lady, and I said, by the way, do you know what genome sequencing and genome editing is? She says, I have no idea. What are you talking about? I said that someday I won't have to come and get my statin. I'll put a needle in my arm and my cholesterol will go away, because that's not natural to my human body. It's a genome deficiency that I have. It's a mutation that I inherited from my family. My doctor told me today, I went in this thing with my finger. So we can take that, and we can't cure it because it's a genome disease. I said, I know exactly what that is. He said, yeah, and because you're European and you have blue eyes and blonde hair, you have a real propensity for it. In fact, she says, we very seldom find it in African Americans or even Asians. It's a genome. It's something that happened in your past that caused this deficiency. We're going to get it fixed. But as she said, you won't get it cured. I said, oh, I might live long enough to get it cured if they'll put a needle in my arm. That's what's coming. That's how the world's going to change. And it's going to start tomorrow. We'll talk more about that.